In this video, we'll see what happens if we entrust a trading robot with $7,500 to manage. We'll see what it does with that money, and what kind of result I can achieve by the end of this video. Let's get started. I want to open the first trade with 25%. That will be $1,875. I suggest we stick with this currency pair, Australian dollar, Swiss franc. There's a pretty good movement here. Next, I go to the booster bot. I activate it. And I select the same currency pair and set the trade time to 1 minute. I get a buy signal and open my buy trade right from here. Right now, I'm not going to use any analysis. I'm just going to see what the bot does along with my analysis. By the way, you can activate this expensive robot right now using the link in the description. Next, I'll show you all the life hacks you should use with this bot, which will help you double or even triple your deposit in just a week or two. This is reality. You just need to practice. Obviously, we won't be able to double or triple our money in just one day. That's just unrealistic. And even if it is possible, it's extremely risky. After all, we're here to talk about safe trading. So I suggest we watch this trade now and see what happens to my balance by the end of this video. The first trade in profit brings me $1,500. Not a bad result. Let's open the next trade again with 25%. And that's already $2,250. Now let's pick the next currency pair. And at the same time, I'll show you which currency pairs are worth choosing. If you see a currency pair with this kind of movement, where there are these kinds of price caps, then it's better to skip it. We're only using clean price movement here. If you see some kind of chaos on a currency pair, then it's really better to skip it. So, we only choose good currency pairs with good movement. For example, like here, this is quite risky trading, and you can see that there's really complete chaos happening on the chart right now. That's why I recommend, first of all, for beginners to use 15-second candles. They really smooth out the chart. And if you see this kind of chaos, even on 15-second candles, it's better to skip it. It's better to choose currency pairs than of good movement. For example, like the euro dollar. So here we can clearly see that the price is actively moving up and down. We can look at the volumes on this currency pair and see that everything is really fine in terms of volume here. In other words, there is volume. It's not too high. It's predictable and stable. Yes, we did have such news. But if we compare it to the Euro Swiss franc currency pair, let's take a look at it. Here we have a very small volume, and as you can see, the price is barely moving at all. But on the euro dollar, at least we have some active movement. So, when choosing a currency pair, we pick one that's actively moving, either up or down, or at least in some kind of active sideways movement. The next currency pair I choose is euro dollar. I go to the booster bot, select the same currency pair, and set the trade time to 1 minute. As you can see, I'm really not doing any analysis myself. The booster bot does all the analysis for me, and all I need to do is pick a currency pair that fits my analysis and, accordingly, open a trade. We need to understand, this isn't automated trading, since that's simply prohibited, so we're only doing the analysis, or rather, the trading robot does the analysis for us, and we just open a buy or sell trade. So, the human factor is still present. We can't always use the very best entry points. They only come with experience. That's why I recommend you practice with this robot for at least a week, and then you'll really be able to achieve solid results. Once again, let me kindly remind you that you can easily activate this powerful bot right now using the convenient link provided in the description below. An excellent and significant impulse of a whole 25 points, which ultimately brings me a substantial $2,000. Now I have $11,000 in my balance. Look, at this point I can take on different risks. That is, I can open trades at 20%. That would be $2,200. Or I could open at 25%. That would already be a whole $2,700. I suggest, since I've already made a good amount, I propose lowering the risk to 20%. So that's already $2,200, which is a good amount. That's about how much I made from this trade. So you see, 25% is really a big amount, a whole $2,700. So my balance is growing, and in just 2 safe trades, I've made a decent profit. The US dollar to Japanese yen looks pretty good. There's a good movement here and a good payout. So I switch to the booster bots and select this currency pair. The trade time is 1 minute, and I double check everything again. Always pay attention to the amount and the currency pair you're opening your trade on. A very common mistake is simply being inattentive, which leads to losing your deposit. For example, beginners often write to our support saying they opened a trade incorrectly with their bot or the trade closed at a loss. We look into the situation. For instance, they received a signal for US dollar to Japanese yen, but opened their trade on US dollar to Swiss franc. As you can see, completely different movements. So always pay attention to 1, 3, or 5 minutes, and on which currency pair, and of course also pay attention to the amount. If, for example, you set 1% here and think that it's $1, obviously that's not the case. So always be careful and keep an eye on your platform, how everything is set up, and what your current stats are. By the way, check out the second impulse in a row for 25 points. That's a great move, and there are only 5 seconds left. and this trade brings me 1900. Phenomenal result, and I almost doubled my deposit while only opening trades at just 25%. By the way, the next trade at 20% is already 2,500, and at 25%, that's over $3,000. But I suggest we go with 20%, that's $2,500, and see how it turns out. This will be the 4th trade already. Let's try opening our trade on this same currency pair. At the same time, we'll check how BoosterBot analyzes the same currency pair. And once again, I get a buy signal. I'm opening a buy trade right from here. And now we're watching this trade. Right off the bat, there's a strong impulse. So in theory, we can expect a good upward movement. Let's pick this currency pair and do a quick analysis. What's happening here? The volumes are normal. That is, they're neither increasing nor decreasing. So the upward movement could continue. Next, we have this level up here, much higher, which the price is now likely aiming for. And after reaching this level, it might bounce back. So I see the following scenario. Right now, we'll go higher, get a bounce, and only then start moving down. Let's watch this trade. We have only 20 seconds left. An excellent second trade brings me another $2,200. As you can see, even just 2 trades in a row can perform quite well. Once again, let me remind you that right now you can get this bot in the description. And as you can see, in just 4 trades, I doubled my deposit. At the same time, I was only trading with 20%. Yes, it was 25% at first, but then even with just 20%, it all works out easily. And as you can see, now 20% is $3,000, so I reached this result very quickly. But again, to trade this easily, you need practice. Choose currency pairs, see which one suits you, and observe how price movement works for us. By the way, just take a look at this analysis. As I said, the price reached this level and is now ready to get a strong push downward. To be able to do this kind of analysis yourself, you need practice. And our bot helps you practice this and accordingly read charts. I advise you not to just use it mindlessly to make money. I recommend that you actually practice with it and choose currency pairs. That way, you'll understand how our market works, how to make money with it, and most importantly, how to trade properly and effectively. Right now, go to the link in the description and activate this bot. It's available to our subscribers, and it works in Telegram. You don't need to download, you don't need to buy. Just subscribe to our Telegram channel, and you'll immediately get access to our trading bot. In short, I'll leave all the useful links in the description. If anything is unclear, just contact our support account. I'll leave the link in the description too. As you can see, I doubled my deposit in just 1 video. Yeah, that's a phenomenal result. But still, you need practice to achieve the same result. You can do the math yourself. If you start, for example, with $500, then in just 1 week you could really make $1,500. It's not hard. And besides, you don't have to risk such high percentages. For example, you can risk just 10 or 15%, and that's still a decent amount. Even with small percentages, just by dedicating 2 hours a day, you can double or even triple your deposit. In short, keep practicing and you'll succeed. All useful links to our resources are in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. See you soon.